Fast forward a month and a half, and I finally had a mental breakdown and gave my wife an ultimatum. If she did not cut this guy out of her life, I would stop giving my all for this relationship. Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, your story titled, What Should I Do? Smack! And you're going to see real quick why I'm smacking this guy right away in his title. Shout out to Brian for sending me this story. Guys, this is about a guy. He is 31. Been married less than 2 years to his wife. She's 26 years old. So at the time, she's probably about 24, give or take. Young. And let's just say she's not exactly the ideal wife. From the get-go, when they got married, immediately the deceitful behavior and cheating all that began. And yet this guy kept taking her back, buying into her BS, her gaslighting, twisting things around, making him out to be a bad guy, etc., etc. Ultimately, he will leave her and kick her to the curb. But he has to go through a whole lot of pain and turmoil and drama before he finally does this. And I'm doing this one, and before you all want to leave because you don't like these simps, lots to learn in this story. Lots to learn from this guy, what not to do, as well as I'm going to make fun of his dumb ass as well. That'll be entertaining. And I think it's a very good one, guys, because you have to understand, for your relationship, guys, number one, women do not respect guys that are weak. The guys that they disrespect through their actions or their words, if the guy doesn't check them or leave them when they behave, when they cross the line, they will keep doing it over and over again. Two, there are people in this world that are just pathological liars, serial cheaters, you name it, and they are not relationship material, and you need to get as far away from them as possible the second you see them for who they are. And they don't stop ever. And third, how, again, as I always say, it's so important that guys do everything to build themselves up as a man, so they have the self-respect and self-worth that people like this that come into their lives, they will not tolerate their crap, because otherwise they'll be walked all over. That being said, here we go. He says here, okay, Reddit, I'm a 31-year male and I need to ask a question. I'm reaching out to a throwaway account because my wife, my wayward spouse, 26-year-old female, is on Reddit too. This post will be huge. If this gets huge, I may have to crash it. No kids, by the way. Starting off, my wayward spouse and I were married in early 2021. We enjoyed a very happy first-year marriage as she finished her nursing degree. Don't get me started on the nurses. And I worked to pay the bills. Oh, what a convenient situation for her. Now we know why she married him. She graduated and got a night weekend job at a hospital. At first, everything went well until a coworker, a 35-year-old male, reached out and asked for her Snapchat. She gave him her information, and the guy immediately asked her very S-word questions, including if we would grant a hall pass. She showed me these messages and asked him not to talk about these kinds of things with her, which he agreed. I asked her to cut this guy out of her life, and she would not. Then we're done. Why are you talking to this guy? Okay, I'm glad you showed me, but no. You're going to be talking to this guy, and you're going to cut him out of your life. Or at least you're going to change jobs in hospitals. Because right here, it hasn't gone too bad yet. Okay? But she's not willing to do that. Goodbye. Gal needs to know, gentlemen, that you are willing to walk away and leave her if she crosses the line like that. And it doesn't make any difference how hard you're going to get hit in the divorce. It doesn't matter, because otherwise your life's going to be miserable. Women need to know they cross the line with you, you're out of there. They will never respect you otherwise. Men that are pushovers and doormats, they'll just keep treating worse and worse and worse, as you're going to see. We met in the middle, and she promised that she would be open with her messages and not delete them. A few weeks go by, and this guy starts sending her memes daily, and their conversations are an everyday occurrence, but I try to maintain my word. Smack! No, there's no meeting in the middle. You want to stay in this relationship, you're changing jobs, you have nothing to do with this guy. And yes, that can be done. And no, she has to keep talking to him. Why? Attention and validation, and she's got other things going on, and she obviously married a guy clearly because she's settled. Because remember, they married when he was probably 29 or 30, and she was about probably 24 or 25. What I tell you, they marry that nice guy who they normally wouldn't give the time of day to. That can help them with the bills, be that nice guy they can bring home to the family like he is, and would be a total chump while she goes and has her fun with Chad and Tyrone. And she's a nurse. Does this mean that all nurses behave this way? Of course not, but there is a stereotype for a reason. This all comes to a head when a month later, she and I go on our anniversary trip. I will admit I was busy with work and relaxing because her new schedule gave me some alone time that I had not had in years. So I did not plan as well as I should. The first night there, we had a good time until we were walking home from dinner, and she asked me what I thought about hall passes. What he thinks about hall passes? That's like asking for an open relationship, open marriage. His answer should have been, what do I think? I think we are done. That's what I think. Because you're not going to be married to me and hook up with other dudes. That's what he should have done. I knew right away that was a red flag, you think? And I was visibly upset and shut down the entire conversation right away. You should have ended it with her. The next day, she was short with me and wanted to stay in the room all night. So I went out and got a drink by myself while she spent the whole night on her phone. Hall passes, she's still talking to the guy and she's on her phone. You need to end it with her. We drove home the next day, and when we got back, I was suspicious. So I checked her phone and realized she had deleted all the messages with this guy. Of course. I was obviously angry, but she told me it was an overreaction and that she was allowed her privacy. No, it's not overreaction because you have shady shit going on, miss. I want to have a hall pass. And you don't get privacy because you can't be trusted. This led to months of fighting where she was accusing me of being controlling while she hid messages from me. I countered by getting more and more suspicious, always trying to check her phone. She would catch me and it would lead to more fights. She would text this guy on all our dates, all the time. There are lots of fights these months where she accuses me of being controlling. She's talking on the phone with other dudes, wanted a hall pass and all that, and you're being controlling. You're the bad guy here. Well, he's not the bad guy here, but he's a jackass because he's staying with her. They're out on dates, having dinner, at the movies, whatever they do, walking in the park with the dog, and she's texting away with this dude. What the hell, man? Have some self-respect. When they don't respect you, there's going to be more bullshit. This guy's a total pushover. And something tells me that he, no doubt, I don't know, was rolling in the ladies before her. He's not exactly James Bond. And this is why weak guys are prey to these vampires. Does this sound like an ideal relationship with all the fighting and drama and he can't trust her? No. And if the situation was reversed and this was a woman writing this story and a dude, her husband was doing all this shit, I would say the same thing to her. Get rid of his ass. Fast forward a month and a half, end of May, and I finally had a mental breakdown and gave my wife an ultimatum. If she'd not cut this guy out of her life, I would stop giving my all for this relationship. I went up to my grandfather's funeral, and she went on a trip so she could cool off, and she blocks him. Ultimatums aren't going to work with her because she knows you're not going to back it up. We came back and had a good 2 weeks until she makes another male friend that she texts all the time. Shocker. Obviously, I have not healed from the first one, so this starts the fights all over again. This goes on until July, in which we went on a family vacation, and she was awful to my family and me. I've had enough, so I made a couples therapy appointment in July. You do not need couples therapy. You need an attorney to end it with her. Cut your losses. You're fucking 30 years old. Or 31 or whatever it is. Okay, you got your whole life ahead of you. You married the wrong girl. You made some mistakes. End it. And then watch my child to learn some stuff, not being such a pushover jackass. We go every week in which he tells the therapist that the issues in the relationship are that I'm controlling. And I try to monitor her 24/7. I agree to never look at her phone again, and she agrees to be more open with me. Smack! Yeah, she's going to be open with you with what she wants you to see. This doesn't work, shocker, and I spend most nights at work worrying about what she's doing. I send her Reddit posts to people who are in the same situation, and it just makes her lash out at me and accuse me of starting fights. Well, this is believable. She's doing what she does, and he's the bad guy here. Things did not get better for months, until the therapist asked her to stop talking to the men outside the relationship, and she said she would pick them over me. She's going to choose the guys over him. End it, jackass, end it. I have a breakdown. She begins to feel bad for me. Bullshit. and offers to take me on dates. We start to slowly heal. She convinces me to agree to plastic surgery for her. She's 25 years old. What does she need plastic surgery for? But I think we all know what that means. Implants. And why? So she can get more attention from guys and probably be on social media and send the pictures and all that. That's what it's about. In mid-October, things are starting to feel natural again. What is natural to this guy? And she's still messaging the second guy, but offers to only do it on an alternate chat so I can see it. This is going well until my friend finds out that his wife is cheating. This reignited my old anxieties. So his friend finds out that his wife is cheating. Shocker, this guy hangs out with other guys that are like him whose wives cheat. Imagine that. Bad boys tend to hang out together. Nice guys tend to hang out together. Fitness nuts hang out together. People who are out of shape hang out together. Birds of a feather flock together. After a day of her texting another guy all night, I get worried and make her look me in the eyes and ask if she's cheated on me. You actually, at this point, wondering if she's actually physically cheating on is really smack. I think I've dropped. I think I'm not in a smacking mood today, guys. I don't know what it is. It's Saturday. I probably got way too much sleep for once, and I'm just I should have smacked about 20 times at this point. She angrily says no and storms off into another room. This sends me into overdrive, and I check her Google history and find questions about STDs. I now have discovered something that cannot be unseen. So I start to dig through her Google location history until I found her visiting a house in the middle of the night in June and July 4 times. I call my parents and cry for hours. I drive to the house to make sure it's real, and it is. It's the first guy's house. The first guy in the beginning of the story that was working at the hospital. I plan never going home, but my stupid brain gets the best of me and I go to confront her. Yeah, because you're so good at confronting her before. She'll just twist it around, make you out to be the bad guy, man. The confrontation was long, but it ended with her telling me the truth. There's no way you got the full truth. She had made a secret Snapchat. She sent him nudes for a month and then they hooked up. I'm devastated. I cry for hours and hours. I get the pain, but please tell me you didn't cry in front of her. For days. I yell at her for hours while she apologizes. She offers to do everything right. She carves my name in her chest in desperation, and I sleep with her. Is he saying what I think? Carve? I don't think it means it by a magic marker. I think that sounds like a sharp object. Either this is total fan fiction, creative writing bullshit, or she's that crazy, or I don't know what. Or I misunderstood. The next day, the wound is like fire in my chest. I angrily make jabs at her all day until I eventually ask her to go to a hotel. Yeah, she's used to going to hotels, dude, trust me. She and I spend 2 days apart until I make a couples therapy appointment where we agree to work on our issues. Dude, work on what issues? She's a pathological liar. She's a serial cheater. There's no working on it. End it. She moves back in, things don't get better. We fight constantly. I'm angry, so I make little jabs at her. In a way, this guy behaves just like an angry, spiteful woman. Am I the only one picking up on this? She accuses me of S-word assault the night that I found out, and it scares me to death. In this time, I start asking friends and family for advice, and she accuses me of trying to ruin her reputation by slandering her. She's slandering herself, for God's sakes, all her actions, what she's doing. My friends and family have all been supportive on reconciliation, and I share that with her. Smack to the family and friends. Reconciliation with her? Are they religious nut jobs that think no matter what you should never get a divorce? Reconciliation with her? This goes to show you about the people you hang out with in your life. I stopped sharing with the negative ones. We fight constantly again, so I dropped my confidant count down to 3. I ask her for 4 things to reconcile. Number 1, no texting other men. Good luck with that. Number 2, find a new job. Number 3, hold me when I'm hurting. Dude. And number 4, there's no plastic surgery. She does 1 for 2 weeks, but she complains how good of a friend guy number 2 is at the same time. I tell her to do what she wants. She starts texting him again. You told her, you actually said the girl line, do whatever you want. This guy, I'm convinced, like I said, that she found her nice guy who she settled with so she can go, he paid all the bills while she was getting her nursing degree. We all heard that. And she can do whatever she wants. No respect for him, no love for him. And he sounds like just this very feminized, weak, blue pill nice guy who's, being chewed up by her. Guys would normally hate me and things I talk about, but then they suffer. She starts texting him again. She refuses to do number 2 because she has a high-paying job and doesn't want to lose it in case we split up. She's a nurse. There are other hospitals, medical institutions she can get a job at. She does number 3 for 2 weeks until she gets angry at me for waking her one day. 4, she takes it up to the therapist, who agrees with her that I'm being petty because she won't get the $10,000 she paid for back for the plastic surgery. The therapist is saying he's petty. The therapist is saying he's petty. What do I tell you all these times about these marriage counselors and these therapists and everything? They're overwhelmingly on the side of the gal. It's in their business to have them keep coming back, keep coming back, keep coming back. Okay? Because that's how they make money. If they got divorced, then they'll lose clients. I relent on all 4. Smack. Push over. And we go to get her surgery. But I'm starting to plan on leaving the marriage because she has done nothing or anything that I've asked to reconcile. Well, thank the Lord, but are you serious? We have an alright trip, but the people I confided in text me, and she says, and says, use your brain, not your other organ. And she accuses me of cheating. This makes a huge fight. She admits to sending nudes while I was at my grandfather's funeral. I message my confidant. She gets her surgery and goes through my phone to see me complaining about her and her surgery as I am hurt by this revelation. It makes the week go pretty poorly. By the end of the week, we start to get better. This is where things start to get petty. Where things start to get petty? Dude, it's been petty and crazy and nuts the whole time. This honestly sounds like 2 girls in a relationship. They're just squabbling and fighting and drama. I think this guy honestly just enjoys the drama. He doesn't know what life is like without having drama. I asked for a 3-something with her to get even. She agrees, and we both make accounts to talk to people. This dude couldn't get laid in a freaking morgue, let alone get a 3-something. I don't use her picture in it. Her family has a medical emergency, and we both rush to get help. We have a good bonding experience and get her family the help they need. In the end, I message people on the app while I'm there. Bad timing. Her sister-in-law confides in her, and she has a meltdown. She screams at me, telling me that she really needed me there, and I was just chasing hoo-ha. I deny that we agreed to this. I deleted the app, and we drove home the day before Thanksgiving while she demeaned me, telling me that I was a bad lover, her affair partner was a better person, I don't know self-cleanliness, I play too many video games and ignore her, and my engagement was terrible. Over and over and over and over again with the drama. First time, shame on them. Second time, shame on you. There's been about 500,000 incidents here to shame on him. I've been accused on occasion of victim blaming or whatever it's called, but there's a point when somebody keeps getting in a bad situation over and over and again with the same person or whatever, and there's a point, it's like, you got to take some responsibility for your actions, jackass. She's awful, we can agree here, but good Lord, man. This pushes me to the edge, but I love her. Smack. We get home, and the whole night she takes everything she owns and crams it into one room. She tells me she's 95% sure she wants a divorce. 95% sure, not 96% sure, but 95% sure. She tells me the only way she will give me another chance is if I text my friends and family and tell them what a piece of shit I am. He's a piece of shit. He's an emotional jackass and a crybaby and a drama queen and many things. But a piece of shit? No. She's the piece of shit. It is demeaning. She then calls her friends and family to tell them what awful shit about me, but leaves out the affair that she had. She talks to them in front of me and tells them I'm garbage. Notice she conveniently left out all the things she did. I try to get her to stay. She goes to stay at a hotel again and says she's going to get her own apartment. She wants an uncontested divorce. My friends and family know I don't talk about myself like that, and they are furious. They told me to divorce her. Are these the same friends and family that 10 minutes ago said to him to go ahead and reconcile with her? Is he the same people here? Now they get it? All the hope they had from my relationship is gone. Before she moves out, I take her keys as the house is my premarital asset, and I don't want her coming back randomly to yell at me and I am broken. Hang on. Did he just say what I think he said? That house they moved into was the premarital asset. She married him and moved in his house. He's got property and resources. He was paying the bills while she's finishing nursing degree, resources. Now we know why she married him. This week she calls me every night and cool tells me that she thinks we can make it work. But I need major changes. She's like with Charlie Brown with Lucy in the football. You know what I'm talking about? With Lucy would hold the football. Charlie Brown would run up to kick it and she pulled away. Charlie Brown would fall on his ass and she convinced him again to do it. She holds the football. Charlie Brown runs up, kicks the ball. She moves it. He falls on his ass. She's Lucy and he's Charlie Brown. And she's just figuring, hey, he'll come back. I call a lawyer and start to get the ball rolling. I was demeaned and hurt so badly, so I get all the information to the lawyer. My wife calls me back and asks to come home, and I say I want to split. She calls her friends and family to help her get her stuff. She comes over the next night and asks for another chance. I say no. There's hope. Thank the Lord. She then goes on Facebook and changes her status to single. She comes back again to pack and asks for another chance. I say I'll consider it if she changes her status back and stops talking to guys and wears her ring. Smack, smack. Dude, please tell me you're joking. She's never going to change. She's 26 years old, for God's sake. She's in her prime. She's never going to change. Wake up. She does none of these things. Shocker. So I go back on the divorce route. We spent a couple of weeks getting the paperwork. She starts being very apologetic. I offer her another chance. Smack, smack, smack. Same stipulations as before. She does none of them and makes posts to roast me on Twitter and Reddit, so I file. How much suffering does this guy have to go through, or how much suffering does any guys in these stories go through unless, of course, they like it? Now, the last 30 days, she started sending me love letters and telling me she can change. I break no contact to see her because of this, and she claims she can be better. We meet up, and she tells me she's talking to a guy on Reddit and sending him selfies. I decide I couldn't do it. I tell her I can't, and she leaves distraught. She continues to message me and tells me she's going on multiple dates with men. I get angry and tell her not to message me. She shows up and tells me the dates are a lie. She says I gave up too easy. Twisting it around. You gave up too easy on us. That's your fault. And we could have gotten a better therapist. She even says she would date me after divorce if that was the only way. Yeah, he's going to divorce her and then date her again. This is where I am right now, a week before the filing goes through. I care about her, and she wants to do anything to get back with me. I'm doubting myself. I'm worried I rushed into this. I am worried. What should I do? Smack. Bonus. I've read the Ditch a Cheater book. I have read Not Just Friends. I have read Life After Infidelity. For those of you that have stuck around, because I know a lot of you guys probably bailed after 5 minutes of this shit, but for those of you that stuck around, thank you. This guy is out of his fucking mind if he continues on with her. He needs to get as far away from her as possible. He needs to end it with her. She's never going to change. She is an attention WHORE. She's a pathological liar. She's a serial cheater. She has zero, actually negative something, respect for this guy. And notice how it just got worse and worse and worse. What'd I tell you? Guy acts weak, women loses respect, she punishes him. He continues to act weak, more disrespect, more punishing, etc., etc. Now, she's garbage. We can all agree here. And a train wreck and a nightmare that we hope no guy, a friend, a family member would ever end up with. But there's the point where these guys, if you want to call them guys, if you want to call them men, they deserve what's coming to them. If you just take so much and you're that stupid, you deserve what's coming to you. He has the chance now. Okay? He's spoken with the attorney about to file, or the filing's about to go through. I don't know what. It's hard to remember all his things that he was doing right with everything he was doing wrong. And he goes back on it and gives her another chance when she's proven countless times to go back on her word. Then he deserves everything's coming to him. But I really do think he's one of these guys that actually enjoys the drama. He may not realize it, but he enjoys the drama. And also the way he describes this and the words he chooses, he sounds like a girl. Obviously he's male, and obviously he's into women, but He just sounds like, sadly, these guys nowadays are just so feminized, so weak, that they have had no male role model, no male example to teach them to not behave like this. They just are walked all over. Because the way he just talks about how, like, they take jabs at each other and all this type of stuff, and the whole do whatever you want thing, it sounds like, in a way, it's like a couple girls fighting. You ever seen girls fight? I don't know. But anyhow, I really wish this guy would cut ties with her. But even if he would get divorced with her, I could see her just sweet-talking him, because it's not like he probably has ladies lining up to get him, and eventually would cave. But guys, you must have respect for yourself. You must pay attention to red flags. When there's any BS, you cut ties. When a woman thinks that no matter what she does, you're always going to be there, no respect. And if you don't believe me, just do that. Just let your girl know that no matter what she does, you're always going to be there. And I guarantee you, real quickly, she's going to put on 30 pounds because you're never going anywhere. Disrespect's going to happen. She's going to snap at you. And the more you don't allow her to do it, the more she'll have even less respect for you, more snapping, more fights and arguments. On the other hand, if a guy acts like a freaking man, and he's good to her, don't get me wrong, but if she is disrespectful or rude, or her actions do something that's not cool, if he checks her on it, she'll have an attitude adjustment real quick. And if she knows darn well she crosses the line with him on multiple fronts, that he'll walk, game changer. But a lot of guys aren't willing to do that. They don't have the balls, and they don't know that's how you need to behave. They don't understand fundamentals like human nature. And that's what I try to teach here on this channel, but particularly the other channel. Now, I know this is an entertainment channel more than the other channel I do, but I'm in one of these moods to talk, and I had to really make this point. So, guys, don't be like this dumb motherfucker. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below what you think about this. Again, for the 10 of you that have stuck around for this whole video. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.